So we need to talk about some pretty wild news coming out of the GTA 6 world. A Russian government official just called for the game to be banned in the country, and honestly the reasoning is about what you'd expect. But we're also going to get into what's happening with Trailer 3, because that February 3rd earnings call is coming up fast and people are starting to wonder if we're actually getting something. Russia wants GTA 6 banned, so here's what went down. Mikhail Ivanov, who's basically a deputy chairman of the World Russian People's Council and sits on some regional council in Russia, came out swinging against GTA 6. His whole argument is that the game's going to corrupt Russian youth with what he calls immoral content. Now, what specifically set him off? Apparently, there are planned scenes involving male strippers in the game. Yeah, you heard that right. According to Ivanov, this crosses some major line when it comes to traditional values and moral health. He's quoted saying the game includes destructive and vulgar content and that allowing this stuff is basically the same as corrupting the younger generation. His solution: either Russia needs to ban the game completely or Rockstar needs to create a special censored version just for the Russian market. He's calling for strict legal restrictions on distribution, basically saying they can't let this content slide. The thing is, Ivanov isn't actually a politician himself, but he does carry some serious influence through the World Russian People's Council. So while this isn't an official government policy yet, it's definitely something Rockstar and Take-Two are going to have to pay attention to. Why this actually matters? Russia's not exactly the biggest gaming market out there, but it's still estimated to be the 5th largest in Europe. That's not nothing. We're talking about a significant chunk of potential players and revenue that Rockstar could lose if this goes through. And it's not like Russia hasn't done this before. They've banned games in the past for similar reasons. Roblox got the axe for content concerns. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 had to remove the infamous no Russian level when it released there. So there's precedent for this kind of thing actually happening. The interesting part here is what Rockstar does about it. Do they ignore it and risk losing access to the Russian market? Do they create a censored version, which would be a ton of extra work, or do they try to negotiate something in between? Take-Two hasn't said anything yet. Rockstar hasn't commented. But with GTA 6 being the absolute massive release that it is, they're not going to want to just write off an entire country if they can help it. This is supposed to be the biggest entertainment launch in history, and every market counts when you're trying to hit those kinds of numbers. What's actually in GTA 6? Look, we don't know all the details about what's in the final game yet. We've seen 2 trailers. They showed us Vice City, gave us Lucia and Jason as protagonists, showed off the Florida-inspired setting with all its chaos and culture. But we haven't gotten deep into the nitty-gritty content yet. GTA has always pushed boundaries. That's literally the point of the series. It satirizes American culture, shows the dark underbelly of society, and yeah, it includes mature content. That's why it's rated M for mature. The game isn't designed for kids in the first place, but different countries have different standards. What flies in the United States or Europe might not work in Russia or China or other regions with stricter content regulations. This is the challenge every major game publisher faces when they're trying to launch globally. The male stripper content that Ivanov is upset about, we haven't even seen confirmation of that in any official trailer. So either this is based on leaks, insider information, or he's making assumptions based on what GTA games typically include. Either way, he's decided this is where the line needs to be drawn. The bigger picture on censorship, this Russia situation is just one example of a much larger conversation happening in gaming right now. Different regions want different things. Some countries ban violence, others ban anything with gambling mechanics. Some have issues with sexual content, others care more about political messaging. For a game like GTA 6, which is built on satirizing and exaggerating real-world culture and behaviour, this creates a minefield. How do you make one game that works everywhere when every region has different red lines? The reality is you probably can't, which means Rockstar and Take-Two are going to have to make some tough calls about which markets they're willing to potentially lose versus which ones they'll modify content for. It's purely a business decision at that point. Now let's talk Trailer 3. Alright, switching gears. Everyone wants to know when. We're getting the next trailer, and the date that keeps coming up is February 3rd, 2026. Here's why. Take-Two Interactive, Rockstar's parent company, has their next earnings call scheduled for that day, and historically, big GTA 6 announcements have come around these earnings calls. Last May, we got Trailer 2 right after an earnings call. The most recent delay to November was announced during an earnings call, so people are connecting the dots. If Rockstar's going to drop Trailer 3, doing it right before the February earnings earnings call would make perfect sense from a business standpoint. It would pump up investor confidence, give Take-Two's CEO something exciting to talk about, and potentially boost stock prices. But here's the thing, and this is important. Rockstar has never officially confirmed anything about Trailer 3. Not the date, not the timing, not even that it's definitely coming before launch. We're all just speculating based on patterns from previous games. What history tells? Let's look at what Rockstar did with Red Dead Redemption 2. That game got delayed twice, same as GTA 6. When the second delay happened in February 2018, the third trailer came out about 3 months later in May. If we follow that same pattern, GTA 6's second delay happened in November 2025. 3 months later would put us right around February 2026, which lines up with that earnings call date. But there's another pattern to consider. Rockstar typically ramps up marketing about 4 to 6 months before a game launches. GTA 6 is scheduled for November 19, 2026. If they start the marketing push in May or June, that would fit the timeline better than February. And let's be real, we still haven't seen actual gameplay. Red Dead Redemption 2 didn't show gameplay until Trailer 4, just a couple months before launch. So Trailer 3 for GTA 6 might still be cinematic, narrative-focused stuff without showing us how the game actually plays. The February 3rd wildcard. So could we get Trailer 3 before February 3rd? Yeah, it's possible. Companies have definitely dropped trailers right before earnings calls to generate hype. It's a smart move when you want investors feeling good about your upcoming releases. But there are some reasons to be cautious about getting too hyped. First, there have been reports about morale issues at Rockstar. If that's true, it could slow down their whole pipeline, including marketing materials. Second, the game just got delayed. They might want to take their time and make sure everything's locked in before they start making big promises with new trailers. And third, Rockstar just does things on their own schedule. They don't really care about industry events or what fans expect. They drop trailers when they're ready, often with minimal warning. Remember how Trailer 2 just appeared with no build-up? That's classic Rockstar. What we might actually get, something does happen around February 3rd, it might not be a full trailer. It could be screenshots of new locations or gameplay features. Take-Two confirming the November release date is still solid with no more delays. Some kind of smaller announcement or tease, a blog post with new details about game mechanics or the world. Any of those would be significant, but they're not the same as getting a full new trailer with cinematics or gameplay. The safer bet is probably May 2026. That's when we're 1 year out from Trailer 2. It's about 6 months before launch, and it gives Rockstar more time to polish whatever they want to show. If May comes and goes with nothing, then yeah, we should probably start worrying about another delay. The Russia ban situation is wild, but it's also kind of expected given how GTA approaches content. Rockstar's not going to change their whole vision, because one market objects, they'll figure out a business solution that makes sense for them. As for Trailer 3, we're all just going to have to wait and see. February 3rd is the date to watch, but don't lose your mind if nothing happens. May is probably the more realistic time frame, and even then we might just get cinematics without actual gameplay. The waiting game continues, but hey, we've made it this far. What's a few more months when we've already been waiting over a decade for this game? That's everything I've got for you on the Russia ban and the Trailer 3 situation. Keep your expectations in check, watch those earnings calls, and we'll see what Rockstar has in store for us in the coming months. This is going to be an interesting year for GTA 6 news, that's for sure.